with Jeffrey Smith. Brought to you by the Gary Community Schools Corporation.
All right, everybody, we're back about 58 minutes after the hour, 2 minutes before the top of the hour on a beautiful midday in the month of July. Of course, it's Wednesday, the 26th of July, 2023, and this is Wake Up GI with Jeffrey Smith. We're going to continue on with meeting some interesting people. This gentleman I had the pleasure of talking to a year ago. He is Apostle Kelly Williams. And he's here to talk about the W.O.W Fest. He's also a business owner, a proprietor of a place I used to frequent quite a bit, Righteous Ribs. I believe you all still supply the police commission, because you all do our food, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. So I always make my order a week, a month in advance, and it's always there waiting for me when we have our meeting. So I want to thank you for that. But once again, welcome to the show again. Good to see you, my friend. What you been up to?
Busy times.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, talk about the W.O.W Fest, because that's why you're here. And I will get into some other things as far as the Righteous Ribs, because I always want to pick your brain about that. But talk about the W.O.W Fest and tell us once again what it is.
Well, the W.O.W Fest is actually a back-to-school fest here in the region.
Right.
It's for East Chicago, but it's for everybody.
Yeah.
So it's a day for the faith community in the region to come together.
Yeah.
We put this fest on for 16 years.
Mm-hmm.
It started as a church picnic.
Right.
And I believe it was like 25 members. And I asked everybody to just bring a book bag.
Right.
And we ate out at Washington Park in East Chicago.
Right.
And then at the end of the picnic, we gave away book bags to kids, 25.
Yeah.
And I told the church, I said, you know what? Next year, let's take this to the next level.
Yeah.
Let's do 100 book bags.
Nice.
And we went out. We thought we were doing something. We went to Nunez Park there in East Chicago, one of the larger, nicer parks.
Yeah.
Not Nunez. We went to Todd Park.
Todd. Okay.
And we got there, and 5,000 people showed up.
What? Repeat that. $5,000, 5,000.
And in Chelsea, like this one, no marketing.
Yeah.
Word of mouth.
Wow.
Pluggers, and networking with the churches, and they got the information out, and we had 100 book bags that were gone in 5 minutes.
I believe it.
And so I had to go drive down Indianapolis Boulevard, go to
Walmart, yeah.
And it just so happened at that time, Raymond Dix.
That's my dude. That's my dude.
Gary. He was the manager there at that Walmart.
Yeah.
And we had raised, we took all of the offerings that we had at the church.
Right.
And ran to Walmart. And I'm like saying to myself,
and Dix was there working.
We cannot let the church fail.
Right.
And he was like, okay. He got forklifts. They brought
That's my dude.
book bags.
Yes.
School supplies.
Yes.
All the way to the front. And we paid them. And the amazing thing happened.
Yeah, what?
People were walking into Walmart trying to figure out what's going on. They got these pallets of book bags and school supplies
that are going out the door.
People start handing me money.
What?
People start helping us stuff the book bags, and we stuffed the van.
Were you there when this was happening?
Yeah, I was there.
Because you got just a jovial personality. That's why they're going in their wallets. But go ahead, please.
We packed the
you went and got
vans
more.
And drove to the park, and we gave out 1,000 book bags.
Oh my goodness, that is an awesome story.
So every year it's just grown. We started with local church choirs,
right,
and then we started about 10 years ago.
Okay,
bringing in national gospel recording artists.
Yeah,
so we've had Richard Smallwood.
Nice.
We've had last year we had Donald Lawrence.
Yep.
And Byron Cage last year.
Yeah, I remember when you were here. You all kind of did it big.
Yeah. Because we with COVID, coming out from COVID,
right.
People had been in the house so long.
Yeah.
And we wanted to kind of like get people back out.
Right.
Coming back out to the fest. So we're expecting great numbers. The city is prepared for the fest to be back at the numbers that it was at.
Right.
And we've done the work, getting the information out. And the beautiful thing is when you're consistently committed to doing something and serving your community,
yeah.
partners come on board with you.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to say that this year, for the first time, School City of East Chicago is on board with our fest.
Absolutely. I know people over there. Yeah.
So we're doing some great things in the city of East Chicago. We're working to, rebuild the walls.
Yes, see, that's what I wanted to kind of ask you, because I remember a couple of years ago, one of my first guests, and we sat for hours. He stayed the entire show almost. Rancifer. He was one of my first dudes, and I'm just always amazed. And I've got an opportunity in the past to talk to Mayor Copeland, and we understand that. But I'm glad because I do think we don't necessarily talk enough about what's going on in East Chicago. I always talk about just. I grew up here, and my parents, we go to East Chicago for different things, usually for food-related things with my dad, but the lakefront, what you all have done with the marina and really utilizing those funds properly, and it just looks so beautiful. Your downtown business district is serious business. And then, more importantly, yourself, as I said, Ranch, I'm seeing all these entrepreneurial guys that are operating in East Chicago kind of uninhibited, and you all are absolutely giving back to the community. It just seems like there's a lot of stuff going on there that is a lot, that's very positive to talk about. I mean, is there something in the air over there, the water?
Yeah, it's called change.
Yeah.
It's called rebirth.
Yeah.
For so long, our city had been just, for lack of a better word, prostituted.
Yeah, yes.
And, now there's a generation, my generation has decided that we deserve better and we want better.
Right.
And we're not just going to sit back and wait on things to happen.
See, that's what I like.
The stirring of the waters. We've all taken a personal responsibility to play our part and do our part in ushering this newness that's coming into our cities. We want a future for our children. It's a shame that in many cases our children go out and get educated, get these degrees, and they don't want to come back.
No,
because there's just no opportunity.
Right.
I'm glad to say I still live in East Chicago.
Yeah.
It's my city. It's my home city, and I've loved watching. We're a first class city now.
Yes, you are.
City. It's clean.
Yes, it is. I told you that downtown business district is absolutely.
They revitalized.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
It's safe. With change comes challenge.
Right.
And you're going to have the naysayers and those who say this and say that. But we've had great leadership in our city over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Mayor Copeland came in.
Yeah.
He really rolled up his sleeves, put his hand to the plow, and hasn't lost the vision.
Right.
He's really resurrected and turned things around for our city. And, one of the hardest things to change is mindset.
Oh my God, yes, yeah.
And we had bloated payroll.
Oh, you don't get me started.
Issues of funds.
Yeah.
And you still have those
the sidewalk schemes
that are still trying to hold the reins, but they gotta understand their time is up. They have the opportunity to do these things, and there are people like the Rancifers and other movers and shakers that had a heart of God, and they really want to do what's right, and that's not a knock on.
No, it isn't.
It's just understanding that I think about people like my dad,
right?
And my dad, he's put in his work,
yes,
and now he all he's doing now is consulting, he
should do. He's got a lot of stuff in his head to give out to folks,
and that's what I tell my dad. I said, Dad, it would be a shame for you to go in the ground full.
Yes.
If you still got gas in the tank, you need to be empty.
Yeah.
And really the only thing that really qualifies you for death is being empty. You should not die full. You should die empty.
Absolutely.
So, I spent a lot of time with my dad. Matter of fact, we're going fishing this evening.
Where y'all going? Well, I mean, I'm a big time. I love fishing.
Yeah, we're going up to Valpo, the Long Lake.
Oh.
Just to relax.
What you going after? Some bass?
No, some blue
some sandwiches. That's what they call. Yeah, go ahead.
But I'm excited. Dwayne Rancifer, a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
Fellow business partner and businessman.
Yes.
And we're doing a lot of things together.
See, let me tell you what I see.
Myself and my business partner, Pastor Boone.
Oh, there you go. Shout out to him as well. But I want to get your thoughts on this real quick, and I want to go back and make sure that we put the information out so people can appreciate that this has got to be a first come, first served basis after that story you just told about the backpacks, what happened last year. But I want to get back to East Chicago, because I think that you mentioned something. There's something dynamic going on there. Obviously, you know, I watch a lot of Hammond. I'm friends with the mayor, Tommy Mack, we call him. That's my boy. So I see what goes on in Hammond. I'm friends with the mayor here and the incoming mayor in the city of Gary. But East Chicago, to me, when you were talking about, you know, just you native people who grew up there, who have come back and are putting skin in the game, it just appears, and I'm putting Ransford in that, we know he's on the council, but you all have kind of, unlike any other area in Northwest Indiana. Northwest Indiana is a politics. Don't get me started, all right? I mean, I'm on the other side of the fence.
You better know it.
Yeah, but I know, we know exactly what goes on here. But it appears that in the past couple of years, with Mayor Copeland's leadership, now he went back and forth at times with his fellow firemen and all that over some overtime, that's whatever. But it seems like you all rejected a lot of the politics of things. You all just kind of looked at each other, looked around the rooms and said, who's with me? Let's do this thing. There's a lot of support for guys like yourself, Ransford, so many other people I probably don't know, females who have gone out here and invested in businesses. You're supported by the city, the community supports you, and you all do things to support the community. And it doesn't seem like there's a lot of politicians all involved in this. Am I right?
Well, that's one of the things I do. I came to love and respect about his leadership is that he's fair.
Yeah.
And sometimes people may not like that because so long in East Chicago it's been pay to play.
Oh my God.
It's been backroom deals.
Yes.
But when it comes to our current administration, they want to do things the right way.
Right.
And that's the way that you run a city. That's the way that you...
it's a total 180 from what East Chicago used to be. You were the political hub of the Lake County Democratic Party.
Yeah. And then another one of the things is that, you know, there's an environment, a culture in East Chicago where people are now understanding that, you know, there is no one person that's it.
Yes.
Everybody understands that we're all a part of it.
Yeah.
You know, and so you have people coming together to do things, galvanizing and community organizing to get things done. We just did with the school city.
Right.
All of our schools have Fs. And, you know, we held the superintendent accountable.
Yeah.
And the community came out, galvanized around that effort. Some moves were trying to be made that we were not in agreement with. And the school board ended up terminating the contract of the superintendent. And we now have a new superintendent.
Right.
Dr. Marlon Mitchell.
Right.
And the community is galvanized around him. And we're ready to support and get things turned around.
My old classmate. Yeah.
So, like, you know, a good city needs the collaboration of community partners and stakeholders to really usher in the things that we want. And so local businesses are a good part of stimulating the city and creating that environment. So local businesses are going to help to affect some of the change that we need in the schools.
Now, let me ask you about this because, you know, for, a lot of times Hammond kind of claims this designation, and they do have it, but as I sit here and I'm thinking, as you're talking, I'm thinking about Ransford. I think East Chicago is absolutely emblematic of this as well, and that is cultural diversity. One of the things that I really am impressed with, because I've got friends, I've got family, I've got, you know, one of my former coworkers is from East Chicago, and I used to go to East Chicago a lot more frequently than I've been in the past couple of years, but obviously it's diverse. You know, obviously we have a black community, we have a blue collar community, there's some kind of Eastern European influence over there, and then of course the Hispanic community. And you're all involved. I mean, I do the election coverage throughout the region, and every time I get to East Chicago, I'm always amazed about how many people from different backgrounds throw their name in the hat to be a part of government. And one of the things that we don't hear, though, is, obviously people have their issues, they have their positions, their stands, but it always seems like it's very civilized in that, in the undercurrent of everything. There is a harmonious East Chicago love for each other, and that's why you all have great festivals and you have great parades, and there's seems to be this working environment that is very inviting to businesses who want to come and play there.
You just got to be EC. You just got to be EC. Our city is amazing. I always think of East Chicago, there's no other city like it in the world. I don't believe, because you can go down a block and touch upon 8 different distinct races.
Yes.
And creeds. We're a melting pot.
Yeah.
Our city for so long was divided.
Yeah.
But the people were always united.
Exactly.
So when I grew up, I had Polish neighbors.
Yeah.
I understand. One thing about East Chicago is we connect through food.
That's you all's thing.
If you're from East Chicago, you know we don't call it taco bread. People call it taco bread.
Right.
We call it tortillas.
Right.
And so you know arroz con pollo.
Yeah.
You're gonna speak poquito español.
You don't got to go to Whiting for Pierogi Fest.
But you have Dominicans. So we grew up knowing and understanding and learning. And when you learn a culture, you respect it.
Yeah.
And so
I like that.
We kind of like our melting pot. And I always say people from East Chicago can go anywhere and be friends.
Yes.
Because we kind of like that dynamic. We grew up on a demographic.
Right.
They had all kinds of people just on your one block. So.
Yeah, then you're going to school with so many different people. And it's a very unique experience. And the city is now reaping the benefits of it because like I said, when the last time I was going through there, I just couldn't believe what was happening. And going back to my childhood memories, you're absolutely right. That was one of the things that, when on Fridays when my parents got paid and it was family, we went to Chicago most of the time to find a specific restaurant or dish that we were eating.
We got some of the best parks.
Oh,
and like with our fest. We started off in Todd Park.
I remember.
Todd Park is, state of the art.
Yes.
Soccer field, it's clean, it's spacious. It's one of the largest, if not the largest park in East Chicago. But when the mayor came in, he said, look, I want your fest to go to the marina.
Right.
Because it makes sense. We have the stage there. You have everything that you need there. And move it out. And there was a little bit of pushback,
right?
Because we were saying, when you're used to something,
like we've been doing it here. Exactly.
I don't want to mess with it. Don't mess with it. But I think that as people have come over the last 3 years, they said, man, this is really nice. Well, we don't have shade and different things like that. But they're gonna have Fusic Fest there next Sunday, all weekend long.
See, that's what I'm
top grade jagged edge. I'm not saying I'm going.
But let me ask you this.
Somebody said they saw me. It was my
it was your twin. Okay, exactly, doppelganger. But so let me ask you this because I'm just so intrigued by this conversation because. I do the news obviously every day, and we understand situations that are going on as it relates to crime in Chicago, and then over here, obviously in Northwest Indiana. But I really do want to ask you this: as somebody that's been in the community, you talk about the festivals, you talk about the activities and things like. Now, obviously, East Chicago, like every other, has to deal with sometimes its element. But I got to be honest with you, man, I really do. I do not hear as much about the crime happening in that community like I used to. Now, I want to ask you this, because obviously Northwest Indiana has seen an influx of people from all different places, and that's fine. Indiana's great. But it seems like people who come into East Chicago become part of the community instead of just kind of sitting there crashing and doing. They end up just absolutely becoming part of the fabric of the community, and that leads to an engagement. Am I wrong?
Yep, you're spot on.
Yeah.
We don't, in East Chicago, when Mayor Daley shut down all the housing,
exactly,
and we had an influx of people coming from Chicago,
yep.
And we still have, East Chicago can still be considered a transient community,
right?
Because we do have an influx of people moving in and out, and we're primarily renters.
Yes,
I believe it's 60% of our.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Renters and 40% homeowners, but with that influx of people, we didn't allow them to change our culture.
Right.
We let our culture change them.
I like that.
So they had to make the necessary changes, because what I absolutely love about my city is this. We get a knock, police and fire and that.
Yeah.
But one of the things that's unique about East Chicago is we police ourselves.
Yeah, that's where I was going with this.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We don't have neighborhood block clubs. Like the block I live on, when something goes on, They come knock on my door. Hey, Rev, man, these guys are revving these cars at night. They know me. I'm gonna go over to. Hey, look. When I moved on my block, we had a crack house. We had a prostitution ring that was there, and I had somebody selling drugs on the corner.
Yeah.
And so when I moved there, I was raising my family there.
Exactly.
And I felt like I had a responsibility, to clean up my block.
Right.
So I went and told the homeowner with the crack house. I said, hey, look, I need these people out of here.
Yeah.
They're fighting. My daughter's trying to ride her bike.
Yeah.
They got knives out and things like that.
Right.
We need them gone.
Right.
We need to clean this up. I told the drug guy, I said, look, you got 30 days to move.
Yeah.
Why are you saying that, Rev? Because I don't want the endangerment bullets coming flying in my home.
Exactly. I got a family. Right.
Same thing with the in East Chicago, we take responsibility for our own neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things we got to get back to nationwide.
Yeah.
Holding ourselves accountable for the change that we want to see. We don't put it in the hands of the police. We don't call police on my block. On my block.
Exactly.
On my block, we handle things and get them taken care of.
I like that.
And so if your grass isn't cut, we cut it.
Yeah.
My thing is, look, I'm not going to argue with you about cutting your grass.
Yeah.
I'm going to cut it.
Yeah. I'm going to cut your grass.
Same thing in church. Don't say anything to somebody about what they wear to church unless you're willing to buy them something.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? You take your own responsibility and hold yourself accountable.
Now, I want to ask you this. I'm sure you've heard of this organization. My guy, he might be watching now via Facebook Live where we're broadcasting, but have you associated or been associated with the Indy 10 Point? Because I know they came up here from Indianapolis, and the reason I ask is because there's a gentleman, Pastor Harrison, who is out there every morning and every evening, walking the neighborhoods of Indianapolis, doing God's work, kind of reciting some of the very same tenets that you are, to try to go out here and not, instead of just waiting on the police, and he talks about crime all the time, but they go out here and a bunch of men in particular get together and they go out here and talk to these young men, engage them and tell them that they want the neighborhood back and they can be a part of this or they can go somewhere else. And it's just very empowering. And so when I heard you kind of say this, it just makes all the sense in the world. And I do remember a couple of years ago they came up here and they were trying to get it into Gary and trying to spread it across. And I didn't know if they had come to East Chicago, but nonetheless, even if they had, what you're doing is just amazing.
Well, the Tri-City area is we're a spiritual region.
Yeah.
And one of the things I love about this region is the fact that we honor, esteem, and reverence our pastoral leadership.
Yeah.
And those pastors, while they may not be walking the streets, they're praying.
Yes.
And their presence is in that community. And that's one of the things that we've always taught in our ministry is that we don't have the credence to call ourselves a church if we don't have an apostolic imprint in our neighborhood and community.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that our church has really been focused on is community.
Yeah.
Not membership, but family.
Right.
And so we teach that family values and family responsibility, and it leaks out into the community.
Yeah.
And so much so I taught our church that we aren't doing our job unless our church would catch on fire and the community would come with cups of water to put them out.
Exactly.
Because they see that our church is the heart, the breath of that community. And it's happening because now we are the #1 food pantry in the region.
I believe it.
We're servicing thousands of people every year by just giving them dignity and allowing them to come.
Wow, man.
And shop at our church, not giving them food, but giving the opportunity to get what they want and go and take it home and feed their families. And so that this Wild Fest is just a part of what we do, and this is another part of our giving back. Our church hasn't taken a claim for it because I believe that when you need the credit, God can't get the glory.
You've never come on this show, and I always ask you, and I'm going to ask you again because I'm sorry, I'm just feeling this. I'm feeling so much positive energy, and I want you to go before you leave and give us the name of your church and how and your services. But you have never come on this platform and have trotted this out. It's just always been Wow Fest. You don't come out here and say, well, such and such is presenting, and then you just talk about it. I want to get back real quick to Wow Fest and get into specifics. Tell me about what's in the backpacks. What can parents who are listening right now expect? And once again, we want to be honest. You heard his story. First come, first serve. Get there on time, because there are no guarantees that when you come cruising up later on thinking that you're going to grab your backpack on your way home, there's going to be something there. We can't send them to Walmart again. Pastor Dix can't pull that off twice.
Everything is in there. The beauty is I love excellence.
Yeah.
I love serving the community, and I believe our kids deserve the best.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we learned over the 16 years is that all kids don't need the same things for school.
Oh.
So this year, for the first time, we have age-specific book bags.
Oh.
So the older kids have the things that they need. The younger kids have the things that they need. And you know why that happens?
Why?
Because of the partnership with the school city of East Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Working with the school city.
They told you?
They knew exactly what the kids need. And so they actually are stuffing the bags for us. So again, partnership.
Partnerships.
That's why we don't make it about us. We just do the work.
Right.
And we know that the eyes of the Lord are everywhere. And I don't need the accolades of men to feel fulfillment for what we're doing. I just need to know that my Father in heaven sees it, and it brings him glory, and it makes him happy. It pleases him. So that's the history of WOW. For 16 years we've been doing this. We've been serving the community. We did it even in the midst of the pandemic.
Yeah.
But what I'm excited about is some things that we've added this year. We always have more vision, and we always want to expand it.
Yeah.
But it couldn't happen without the partnership of one of our 16-year sponsors, and I really want to take my time and highlight that.
Go ahead.
That's the Foundations of East Chicago. I know if you know anything about East Chicago, you know that the casino monies are always set aside.
Yes.
And they go to the Foundations of East Chicago, and their main responsibility is to disseminate those funds out to make sure that the community is impacted by those.
I hope there are people listening. Well, I know there are, but I want people to listen to this. Go ahead, please finish.
And the Foundations has been a consistent and committed partner to making the WOW Fest happen. And we are always eternally grateful. They're in some lean times.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as a casino with Hard Rock coming.
Oh, absolutely.
They diminish some of the monies that they're getting.
Yeah.
But they still hold that commitment to making sure that the community is impacted. So much so that at one time they said that WOW Fest was so needed that they set aside those funds to
at the
make
beginning
sure that we could put the fest on here, because they saw that it was a need. They saw that it was actually an event that was there to totally impact the community. And from day one to this day, no one on our staff is paid a salary.
Wow.
Every dollar we raise goes back to those kids. We're transparent about our funding.
Yes.
So our financials for the WOW Fest are public record.
Right.
If you want to know what we did.
No shadiness whatsoever.
I have no ifs, ands, but my rule is this. Now, if you're gonna ask, don't say something and you won't sow something.
I like
The thing is, if you want to look, then you in turn sow into it.
Exactly.
All right. If you see that it's doing something impactful, then sow into it.
Exactly.
And we put the best on. Another one of our partnerships is the city of East Chicago.
Of course.
I'm glad to say that since the mayor took on, and in previous administrations, they no politics involved.
Oh God, that is music to my ears.
Nobody's. As you know, I'm involved in politics.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to this event, I'm glad to say that a lot of people that maybe not would support me or did support me, they support this fest.
It just seems you all's politics are a little bit different over there, though. You know, I mean, it's just, I know, I've seen some of the fights. I'm a political junkie. I watch what goes on, but it just seems like there's just, it's just different because
nowhere else like it.
Exactly.
I love Gary politics because I tell Pastor Boone all the time, I love the fact that Gary people are passionate about government.
Yeah.
But when the day after the election, it's over.
Okay.
And they don't do all of that.
Yeah.
Craziness and,
Yeah.
They run their race and they let the people make the decision.
Okay.
Ultimately, that's who's going to do it.
Yeah.
All right, let me get done with these partnerships.
Go ahead, please.
School City East Chicago is on board this year. Our corporate sponsors this year, Comcast.
Oh,
And Comcast,
yeah, there you go.
And Comcast is doing a lot of things in our Black and brown communities.
Yeah, I know they hang out over there all the time.
To make sure that people understand that they are putting out the same product that they do in Munster is the same product we're getting in Gary, Hammond, and East Chicago. And so Comcast is invested. They have things that we can install called lift zones.
Yeah.
For people, for after school programs and different things like that. And so Comcast has been on board with us for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
NIPSCO, a proud and constant partner. They've
Corporate loves East Chicago.
12 years, NIPSCO has been on board with us. Mike Repay, our county commissioner.
My dude.
Yeah, Mike.
His brother's watching.
Yeah, Mike. He's always anything we have going on in the community. Mike is right there, and he's a committed partner with East Chicago. And then Frank Mervan.
Yeah.
Frank Mervan has he was the same way as a township trustee as he is now in Congress. He's been a long-time partner. So many other politicians, Dwayne Ransford, been with us for 10 years.
Right.
So many others. Stacy Winfield.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of all of the names, but I'm going to miss.
You're going to miss
most of your politicians in East Chicago. Are part of what we're doing. So this year we have James Fortune coming. And he's going to be leading a combined choir of singers, singing some of those old time songs that we did, and some of his new stuff. We'll take them up to the rafters.
Look at you, Pastor.
So James Hall is going to be there. Butter the Preacher is going to be there. Adrian B. King is going to be there.
Butter's going to be there.
Yes.
That's what I do.
So we got the backpack, book bag, and school supply giveaway. We're raffling off laptops. So you want to get there, get your raffle ticket. We're going to give away 3 top-notch laptops this year. There's a shoe drive. I'm excited to say that 100 kids in Chicago are going to have a new pair of shoes.
Wow.
So I can't really tell them to sign up for the event, right? Because we got the 100. They already in a week's time. They already got all of the shoes.
Absolutely.
So if you want to donate shoes. If you want to donate things, school uniforms or anything, you can definitely call 219-545-2361 and they will get it. Or you can leave that information on the Eventbrite on the WildFest Facebook page.
Right.
But if they call that number 219-545-2361, any information that they need, they can get to them. And then WildFest is simply about one thing: coming together for our community, praying over our children, our schools, our administrators, so that there's harmony, peace, and growth in our community, in our city, in our schools.
Well said, Kelly. Mr. Kelly Williams, Pastor Kelly Williams, Apostle Kelly Williams. Just a great dude. I enjoyed this conversation. I really feel like all warm and fuzzy inside. Before you go quickly, I know you're a busy man. Go ahead, please give your church's logistics out, days, your Bible study, and all that.
Destiny Bible Church in East Chicago, Indiana, 1920 East Columbus Drive. Our website, www.greaterdestinybcintl.org. We stream our Bible studies on Facebook, YouTube, on Tuesdays at 7, Sundays at 10 o'clock. We have our morning worship. And 10:30. We have our morning worship. We have our food pantry every Thursday. It starts at like 8 o'clock in the morning until we service the last person. So
nice.
It's normally about 4 hours. But we do we do a plethora of things in our community. Do a lot of community organizing. I'm excited that I'm going to be bringing a new CDC into our city. I've been sitting on the board, president of the board over in Chicago, Illinois, working on nonviolence initiatives, mentoring and re-entry.
Yeah.
So we're going to be bringing those things to the region. It's called Target Area Development, and we're going to be rolling that out in sometime in August, September. So we're really excited about the things that we're going to be doing and bringing. You'll see a lot of us.
Yeah, keep me in the loop.
Soldiers on the ground. But again, I love God. I love our region. I love our city, and I'm excited. We're going to Righteous Ribs is going to open back up, but it's going to be a little something different.
Okay.
Real soon, you'll be hearing and seeing about it real soon. I know y'all miss us over at the Real
Yes,
KC.
We miss you. We miss you.
We hated to have to go, but we're excited to be coming back bigger, better, and stronger.
Yeah. Well, it might be a blessing in disguise, at least for a second, because
Yes.
I was using you as an excuse to kind of sit and watch the game and shade. Next thing you know, I'm eating a slab of ribs by myself. It was absolutely unseemly.
Yeah. But I will have the ribs. I will have the ribs on Sunday. They
Okay.
will be out at the park. We will have the ribs, the rib tips, turkey tips, half chickens,
You're sucking me in again,
smoked
Reverend.
macaroni and cheese,
Oh.
What time?
potato salad from 2 to dusk. From 2 to dusk on Sunday. Guess what? You can even go down to the beach so you can listen to your gospel and you can swim out at the beach.
Oh.
So it's a beautiful day. It's planned for Sunday. The weather looks like it's going to be
Are you doing the food
amazing.
truck?
We got the food trucks out there.
Were you out there last weekend?
No.
Okay, because I know they had the food truck fest, but no, I live around the corner. I will find you.
Yeah, we got food truck. This is in East Chicago, the Lakeshore Marina.
Yeah.
East Chicago.
Oh, East Chicago. Okay.
That's 2 to dusk. That's where the Wow Fest is. We got
Ooh.
vendors.
Oh.
We got
I'll come over there.
CMOS. They got food. They got clothes.
I'll
They
come
got
over there.
all kind of stuff going on. We got health tent. We've got about 10 different health vendors.
Yeah,
there.
I'm going to need all that after you eat
All of it.
your
You can get
ribs.
your shots.
Oh.
You can get your COVID vaccine. You can get whatever you. We even still trying to get a dentist out there. So if Smiles can get that van out there, we want to get these kids.
I know what
teeth
it is.
cleaned.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell Mr. Kane. I'm gonna tell my boy Kane to come look over there at you all.
Yeah, man.
All right. Okay. I'm telling you, Pastor, I can talk to you all day. I know you're busy, man. I don't want to be the reason you're late. You know what I'm saying?
We're getting ready to go and head over to a meeting. We're getting ready to bring Pastor J.C. Wade Jr. J. Wade Ministries is bringing in One Church, One School with
Right.
Reverend Profo.
Yeah.
So we're going to be doing that in East Chicago. So the faith community is partnering back with the churches, and we're ushering God back into those buildings. So we're going to see some. I know we're going to see some change.
All right, man. Let me tell you something. You are one of the best ambassadors for the great city of East Chicago that there is.
I love my city.
You love it, man, and we love you. We appreciate you coming on today, man.
And I
Wish you
love
well.
Gary when I was here too. And I'm not leaving either.
No,
I'm
no,
still
you're
here.
not going nowhere.
Yes.
All right, there you go. That's our guy right there, Mr. Kelly Williams, of course, Wow Fest. Once again, the date, so we don't
It
forget.
is Sunday, July the 30th.
Oh, this
July
coming
30th.
Sunday.
This Sunday.
This
Oh,
Sunday.
This Sunday.
Yeah.
July 30th from 2 to dusk. Wow Fest 2K23. We are excited to be able to serve you on Sunday. So that's what Sunday is about, serving our community. And it is not just for East Chicago people.
It's the region.
It's for the region. So whosoever will, let him come. Come, bring your family out. Bring a lawn chair.
Yeah.
Listen to some good music. Enjoy that beach. One of the best beaches here in our region.
Hey,
I think
be
we got
careful.
top notch.
Yeah,
We
you
got
are. You're
top
nice. It's
notch.
beautiful.
Yes.
I got to at least stand up. I don't want these people turning on me here.
But we got one of. I didn't say the best. I said one of.
No, it is. The marina is absolutely amazing, man. And once again, thank you very much for coming in. Keep us
My
in the
pleasure.
loop. We love you, man. We
I'll be
love
back
you.
at 4 today.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
Blessings to you.
All right, there you go. With that, we're going to get ready to take a break. When we come back, we're going to get our first look at